Hello, my name is Tom and welcome to Risk Assessments. This is a lengthy and complicated section, so what do you say we get started? The primary goal of risk assessment is to reduce risk to an acceptable level. Here's a quick list of the risk terminologies that will be used during a risk assessment. Asset, asset valuation, threats, vulnerability, exposure, safeguards, attacks, breach, and so on. A risk assessment starts by having a discussion with all the pertinent parties, including upper management, to identify all the assets of the firm. The next step is to come up with a list of threats like viruses, criminal activities by authorized users, intentional attacks, malicious hackers, disgruntled employees, user errors, natural disasters like earthquakes, floods, fire, volcanoes, hurricanes, tornadoes, and tsunamis. The list goes on, but I think you get the gist of it. Okay, let's move on. Risk assessment is primarily an exercise for upper management. It is their responsibility to initiate and support the risk analysis and assessment by defining the purpose and scope of the endeavor. The actual process of performing risk analysis are often delegated to security professionals or evaluation teams. However, all risk assessments, results, decisions, and outcomes must be understood and approved by upper management as an element in providing prudent due care. There are two risk assessment methodologies: quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative risk analysis assigns real dollar figures to the loss of an asset. Qualitative risk analysis assigns subjective and intangible values to the loss of an asset. Without going into too much detail, here are the elements used to evaluate the quantitative assessment: exposure factor, single loss expectancy, annualized rate of occurrence, annualized loss expectancy, annual cost of a safeguard, and the value or benefit of a safeguard. So much math, but it's important to realize that with all the calculations used in the risk assessment process, the end values are used for the prioritization of the remediation. Let's talk a little bit about qualitative risk analysis. Qualitative risk analysis is more scenario-based than it is calculator-based. Rather than assigning exact dollar figures to the possible losses, you rank the threats on a scale to evaluate their risk, cost, and effects. Once the risk analysis is complete, management must address each specific risk and select one of the four responses: reduce or mitigate the risk, assign or transfer the risk, accept the risk, and reject or ignore the risk. This can be a very complicated and laborious process, but once complete, you can now start putting an action plan together based on the importance to the business. Sorry that this was so long, but sometimes it is the only way to understand the process. Okay, I am completely out of time. Please click on the link below this video to send an email to request more information. I hope you found this video informative, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you, and remember, Tom knows security.